In this lesson, we're going to talk about event handlers. Event handlers are called when a certain event occurs on a package. The event handlers can be used for logging and notification. Here in Visual Studio, I have a blank package. I'm going to click on Event Handlers. In the drop-down menu on the left, I have the executables I can select from. I don't have any executables at this time, so the only thing I can select is the package itself. In the right-hand menu, I can select the events, for example, on error, on execute status changed, post and pre-execute, on warning, and when these events fire, whatever task I have inside of these event handlers will then be fired also. I'm going to go back to the control flow. I'm going to drag out a script task. Now I'll return to the event handlers. And now on the left-hand side, you'll see I have the package itself and the script task. So I could select to have an event only execute when that event occurs on a script task, or I could select to have it occur if the package has the actual event. So if an error occurs on the package, the on-error event handler will fire. And if I select an on-error event handler for the script task, then only if the script task has an error will that on-error event handler fire. I'm going to go ahead and select the package, click OK. You'll notice we have a blue link in the middle here. It says, click here to create an on-error event handler for the executable Lesson38, which is the name of the package. I'm going to click on the little blue link, and now we have a event handler on our package. Now there's no task inside of the event handler yet, but I'm going to drag out a send mail task. We can configure the send mail task just as we've done in the past. We select an SMTP connection, put in our SMTP server, and our from address can be something to tell us that it's coming from the package. For example, SSIS package at, and then we can put our company name in. Your SMTP server may only allow certain names. And then the to field can be our email address. The subject line can be error from package. I'm going to leave the message source type at direct input, but I'm not going to put any input in the message source. I'm going to go to the expressions, click on the plus next to expressions, click on the ellipse, and I'll select the property of message source and create an expression for that. Here I can click on the variables in the drop-down menu, and one of the choices is error description. Of course, there's no error at this time, so there's nothing in that description. But now I'll receive the error description in my email. You can also add more information to this if you'd like. For example, we can type in package had an error. And now we'll receive package had an error plus the description. We can also improve on that. Instead of saying just package, we can put in the package name. In the drop-down menu here, we'll see all our system variables. One of them is package name. We can add that to it also. Put a space here. And now we can see we have the name of the package and our description. And so our email will contain some information that will tell us that the package has had an error and what that error is. This on-error event handler is only on the package itself. It's not on the actual executables inside of the package. So if any error occurs on the package, we should receive this email. If we had selected just the script task, click OK, and created the on-error event here, then only if that script task had had the error would we receive that error message in the email. But we created it on the whole package. To get rid of an event handler off of your package, we go to the Package Explorer. We click on the plus next to Event Handlers. Here we see our on-error event handler. I'm going to right-click and say Delete. Let's say, would you like to delete this? I'll say yes. We delete the event handler off the package, and you can see it's gone now. We can also log information from our package also. I'll create another on-error event handler on our package. I'll drag over an execute SQL task. I'll just connect to the AdventureWorks database, VentureWorks 2008. And for my SQL statement, again, I'm going to go to Expressions, click on the ellipse, and I'll select the SQL statement source. And now I can enter in a SQL statement here that will insert information into my table. So it can be insert, and the rest of the command, which would be something like the name of the columns and the values. But the values actually can be variables from the package. So after we type in values, we can have that information from the variables. So let's say I want the package name, and I want the start time of the package, and I want the error description also. Now with a message similar to this, it would insert this information, the package name, start time, and error description, into our database, and we could log this information. So instead of being notified via email, we can have the information stored inside of a table. We can also have the execute SQL task log the information, and along beside that have a send mail task, so we can be notified, and we can also log the information at the same time with the same event handler. In the try it section, we're going to create a package with an on-error event handler. We're going to cause an error on the package, and we're going to view a pop-up message from that event. Here in Visual Studio, I have a package created called Lesson38. I'm going to drag out an execute SQL task. I'm going to right click, go to Edit. In the connection, I'm going to select New Connection and select VentureWorks 2008. For my SQL statement, I'm going to type in select 1. Click OK. I'll run this one time, and we'll see that we are not going to receive an error message because select 1 is a valid SQL statement. We'll go to our event handler, and on the Lesson 38 package, I'm going to create an on-error event handler. I'm going to drag out a script task. I'm going to right click and go to Edit. In the read only variables, I'm going to click on the ellipse, and I'm going to select the error description. Click OK. Click Edit Script. And where it says add your code here, I'm going to add in message box DTS dot variables and type in error description dot value, and this will cause a message box to appear showing the error description. I'll save this and close it. Click OK. Return to our control flow. I'll run the package one time without an error. We'll see we don't receive a pop-up. I'll stop the debugging. I'm going to alter the execute SQL task to say select A. Click OK. I'll run this again. And you notice we receive a pop-up box now. And the error message is executing the query select A failed with the following error. Invalid column name A. We can go to our Progress tab and we can see that same error message here in our Progress tab. We can go to the event handlers, change it to the package, click OK, and we can see that the script task is turned green, indicating that it has now been called and run successfully. I'm going to stop the package. I'm going to change my execute SQL task back to select 1 instead. I'm going to go to the event handlers, select the package. Now I'm going to run the package again. Notice our script task in the event handler does not turn green. It stays white. In the control flow, our execute SQL task is turned green, indicating success. But our event handler did not fire because no error occurred. In this lesson, we talked about the event handlers. Event handlers are called when certain events occur on a package, and they can be used for logging and for notification.